Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, lawmakers filed 2 House bills seeking to ban candidate substitution in future elections. Presidential and vice presidential aspirants present their 2022 Senate slates with prominent figures as common and guest candidates. And later, the fate of unity talks and how far can it go for the Pacquiao-Atienza tandem. Vice presidential aspirant and House Deputy Speaker Lito Atienza joins us live. Senators want to review and amend the rule allowing substitution for candidates, with Senate President Tito Soto saying the provision is being abused. 2 House bills at the lower house were also filed last week seeking to ban substitution. Also, why do presidential and vice presidential bets share common candidates on their Senate slates? Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Vice Presidential Aspirant and House Deputy Speaker Lito Atienza. Congressman Atienza, welcome to The Source and thank you for your time, sir.
Maraming salamat for inviting me. Pinky, it's always an experience to be hosted by a very responsible media woman like you.
Thank you, sir. I want to start with your Batangas visit. This happened a couple of days ago, last Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. What was it like? Nakita ko po yung video, although there's a lot of questions on nasunod ho ba yung social distancing and all that. But first and foremost, how was the acceptance of the Batangueños na nagpunta po kayo?
What I can say is that in my experience in politics, and I have about 50 years of this, wala pa ako nakitang ganong kainit na pagtanggap ng mga pangkaraniwang tao sa isang kandidato for president. The Batangueños really went out to cheer up and identify themselves with Manny Pacquiao. Para bang punong-puno ng pagmamahal yung sigaw nila, Manny, Manny. And all of this happened spontaneously. Hindi ito mobilized effort. Ito'y talagang nangyari as we were passing by Lipa. And people just went out of the market, of the stores, and cheered on Manny Pacquiao as their beloved chosen leader.
You said it yourself, no? 50 years, you said, and you never saw such a warm welcome. But are you siguro practical enough to say to yourself or to even realize that the warmth of the people could or could not translate to votes?
Yung init na pagtanggap at yung pagmamahal have to be translated into votes. I agree. Yes. Pero meron pa tayong mga 7 months to go. All of this will be translated into votes because we will harvest, Manny Pacquiao will harvest all of this come election time. At sinasabi ko lang, the foundation, the basic goodwill, the affection of people are clearly manifested by their warm embrace of Manny Pacquiao, an adopted son of Batangas, when we visited Lipa. Just one city, Lipa. Wala kaming paghahandang ginawa ro, kundi meron lamang nagsasabi nung darating na kami, dadaan dito si Manny Pacquiao. Naghanda na ang mga tao para salubungin si Manny Pacquiao. At sinasabi ko, wala siguro makakatanggap na ganyang klaseng reception sa pangkaraniwang tao except si Manny Pacquiao na talagang mahal ng taong bayan. So directly, especially to the CDNE, Manny Pacquiao is a national hero. Huwag na nilang idinayan, no matter how they would like to now distort history and present-day sentiments, hindi mababago yan. Manny Pacquiao gave the Filipinos pride. Isa na ako. I'm very happy to be running with him because I believe in his leadership and his good intention for the country and the people.
Okay, so nagpunta po si Senator Manny Pacquiao doon because he was also saying that habit na po niyang tumulong sa mga tao, especially in Batangas dahil nga po sa nangyari doon na Taal volcano eruption. Ano po. He went there 2020, in the year 2020 twice. And then of course, lumaban po siya thereafter. At sabi niya, I'm fulfilling my promise to come back. With that, he brought food at nagdala din po siya nagbigay din po siya, I believe, 1,000 pesos each. Do you see, well, of course, wala pa ho naman tinatawag na, hindi pa ho official, hindi ho ba, ang election season. That starts for national polls in February. Do you see anything wrong with that, Congressman Lito Atienza, doon po sa pamamigay ng pagkain at pera?
Una, let me correct your impression. We did not go to the place where he gave away goods and some support. Hindi yun ang Lipa. Doon sa Balayan yun, malayong lugar yun. Yung nakikita niyo pagtanggap, sa Lipa yan. Walang pinag-uusapang bag of goodies dyan. Walang pinag-uusapang tulong, ayuda. Wala. Doon sa Balayan City yun. Malayong lugar. At hindi yan ang larawan na ipinakikita ng kampo ni Manny Pacquiao. Ang ipinakikita sa inyo ay Lipa reception na wala po naman kami pinamigay. Wala nga kami. Kami nga bumili ron. Bumili kami sa palengke ng kape.
Bumili kayo ng barako.
Oo, at uminom kami ng kape doon sa palengke. Yan ginawa namin. Pero para sabihin ng isinuman, namigay, wala kami pinamigay sa Lipa. Taong bayan ang mainit na tumanggap kay Manny Pacquiao at sa inyong lingkod. Ako naman ay Batanggenyo rin eh. Ang Atienza ay nagkalat sa Batangas.
Okay. So yung pumunta na po tayo dun sa area in Balayan where he gave out goods, no, pagkain at pera. Ang parang lumalabas po 1,000 pesos each. Again, the senator was saying that habit na po niya itong pagbibigay ng tulong sa mga tao. Dahil nga po, let's put it into context na hindi pa naman talaga nag-uumpisa ang election season. How do you see or how do you view your presidential aspirant giving out money and giving out grocery items to the public?
I admire Manny's genuine affection for the poor, genuine concern for the poor. Yan ay kahanga-hanga at hinahangaan ko. Pero doon sa Balayan, hindi ako kasama, kaya hindi ko masabi sa inyo kung ano eksaktong nangyari, pero maniwala kayo. Talagang ang dami-daming tao ang natulungan ni Manny Pacquiao doon sa lungsod ng Balayan.
Okay. Thursday was your visit in Lipa together with the senator. But I think it was a day after na inadapt naman po, adopted son po kasi si Senator Pacquiao, inadapt naman po ng sanggunian ng mga local officials ng Batangas si Mayor Isko Moreno. And Senator Ralph Recto, who will be running as congressman in the 6th District of Batangas, also endorsing, together with some local officials, si Mayor Isko Moreno. What do you think of this? Do you think this is just going to be a fight between Senator Pacquiao and Mayor Isko Moreno? Nagkakaroon ho ba ng some sort of conflict, you think?
Palagay ko wala naman. Sapagkat si Manny Pacquiao has been adopted by the province of Batangas a long time ago, a couple of years ago. Ang inyong likod ay natural Batanggenyo. Kaya wala po naman sigurong conflict na si Mayor Isko ay bumisita at tinanggap naman ng mga rekto. Very good for him and I wish him well. Pero masasabi ko lang, pinag-aaralan ko lahat yung mga picture na nakita ko sa kanya pagbisita. Malayong-malayo sa nakita kong naramdaman kong pagtanggap ng mga Batanggenyo kay Manny Pacquiao. Malayong-malayo. No comparison.
So basically, you're saying, Congressman, mas mainit po yung pagtanggap kay Senator Manny Pacquiao sa mga nakita niyong litrato at video compared to Mayor Isko Moreno?
101%. Definitely. And I know the feelings of Batanggenyo. Sabi ko sa inyo, Batanggenyo ko eh. I am a Manileño, Batanggenyo. Kaya alam ko ang damdamin ng mga Batanggenyo. At yung pagdating namin doon, umikot ako on my own. Ako yung nagtatanong sa aking mga kababayan. Sinasabi nila, kami Pacquiao dito, huwag kayong maniwala sa mga nagtatanong dyan, mga nagsasabi, Pacquiao kami rito, hindi na magbabago yan. Yun ang sabi nila.
Mm. But would you also agree that there are a number or many instances wherein that also happens to other candidates? Yung po din yung sasabihin nila. Kunwari sasabihin nila, huwag kayo maniniwala, Ping Lacson ako, huwag kayo maniniwala, Isko Moreno ako, yung ganun ho ba? Huwag kayo maniniwala, Lenny Robredo ako.
Ang payo ko sa ating mga kababayan, huwag kayong maniniwala sa survey ngayon. Ang pinakamagandang negosyo ngayon, survey. Dahil yan talagang ginagamit ng politiko sa kampanya bilang propaganda. Si Manny Pacquiao, walang survey company, walang survey gimmickry. Yung kanyang relasyon sa taong bayan, genuine. Hindi nasasangkutan ng mga troll, ng mga fake surveys, tapos palalabas na fake news. Yan ay kampanya na yan. Yan ay propaganda ang ginagamit ngayon. One of those distortions of our campaign and political activities in the Philippines.
Okay. Congressman, I do remember Senator Pacquiao also saying that he's still open to possible unity talks. First, I wanted to get your sentiment on this. Kayo ho ba as his vice presidential aspirant and knowing Senator Manny Pacquiao quite well, do you think that unity talks will still be good at the moment? And you personally, are you still open to this?
It's always good to have unity talks because lalo na ngayon na ang ating issues are all forming into one deep division. You're either pro-martial law or anti-martial law. You're either pro-Marcos or you don't like Marcos, who incidentally has changed his name from Bongbong Marcos to BBM. Ngayon ay panahon ng politika and we should all take note of what's going on in the country. Tumalabas ngayon you either approve and agree that martial law did good for the country, or you believe that martial law jeopardized and destroyed the economy of the country because of massive corruption. Yan dinideny na ngayon. There's now an ongoing historical revision. The young are getting carried away. But people like me, and that's probably the reason why God allowed me to be one of the players in this year's or next year's election, para sabihin ko sa taong bayan, anong totoong pangyayari sa martial law? Nakabuti ba ito o nakasama? Definitely nakasama. Ang ekonomiya natin ang nagdusa. Pinaghirap ang bayan. Uncontrolled corruption happened by the cronies. Even the environment, even our natural wealth were all abused by some, not benefiting all. Kaya pag sinabi niyong martial law, Marcos, definitely I am on the side of truth. Hindi nakabuti, nakasama yan.
I did.
And please, humarap tayo sa bayan nang meron tayong talagang totoong appearance. Hindi nagbabalat kayo tayo, nagsusuot kayo ng ibang kulay. You state your peace and your own personal knowledge and let people decide come election time. Kayo ba isang ayon na nawala yung anak ni Kaepang? Hanggang ngayon, umiiyak yung pamilya dahil dinukot yung kanyang anak. Hindi alam kung ano nangyari nung batas militar. Libo-libo yan, Pinky. Sang-ayon ba kayo na kayo ay inalisan ng karapatan? Sang-ayon ba kayo na tayong lahat ay nagdidildil ng asin ng panahon ng batas militar? Sang-ayon ba kayo yung ginawang yan na yung ginto ng Pilipinas hanggang ngayon hinahanap natin? Sang-ayon ba kayo na ekonomiya natin dumapa from number 1 to kulelat? Pag sinabi mo sang-ayon ka, mag-solo ka na lang.
Okay, but if I were to ask you, Congressman, who among the candidates would be most in tune with unity talks that, for example, you are open to and you would want to partner with? I guess what I'm saying is sa kanilang lahat, sino ho sa palagay nyo yung pinaka-complementary sa inyo in terms of unity talks?
Palagay ko si Manny Pacquiao ang pinaka makabayan. Hindi lang makabayan, makadiyos. Kaya naniniwala siya, lahat ng itong ginagawa natin, dapat pakinabangan ng bayan at maibalik natin ang bansa natin sa kapangyarihan ng Panginoon Diyos. So yung mga motivation na yan, yung mga trait na yan, ang nagdadala kay Manny Pacquiao sa tamang landas. And I am with him all the way because, Pinky,
Yes.
I'm only running for Vice President simply because I believe in my presidential candidate. And that's Manny Pacquiao. I know him very well. I worked with him. I have labored with him. I have dreamt with him na naginip kaming siya ay magiging world champion, naging world champion. Ngayon naman ay nananaginip siyang magiging leader ng bansa upang hanguin sa kahirapan ang mga Pilipino. I am with him again and I'm happy with that. Pero since he's my leader, whatever he decides, I will comply because I know he is guided and he prays before he makes a decision.
No, but you made a point a while ago, Kong Lito. Ang sabi niyo po, it's either you're pro-Marcos or you're not. Wag na kayong magbihis ng iba. Shed who you really are, hindi ho ba? So again, let me ask you, with those running for president, sino ho ba sa palagay niyo ang pinaka-complementary doon sa beliefs, values that you personally, espouse? Sino po sa kanila? Would it be among the present crop of presidential aspirants?
Palagay ko wala eh. Wala. Kaya ako'y talagang sampalataya. Si Manny Pacquiao lang ang talagang namumukod, katangi-tangi, totoo. Kasi marami ngayon ang nagbabalat kayo eh. Hindi mo makikita yung katotohanan. But since I've known Manny for 21 years, alam na alam ko ang ugali nito, alam na alam ko pag-iisip niya. At yung kanyang kalooban, yung puso niya, at yung fighting spirit niya, andun eh. Yun ang kailangan natin. Magaling na leader, na makadiyos, makatao, makabayan, makakalikasan. Manny Pacquiao yun.
Congressman Atienza, we need to take a very short break. We're going to talk about other topics such as substitution. What will be your stand here? And you were talking about the martial law days, no? There's been a reaction also from Senator Amy Marcos, and I want you to react to that. But we need to take a very short break. The Source will be right back. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, House Deputy Speaker and Vice Presidential Aspirant Lito Atienza. Before I go to substitution, I just need to do a follow-up, no? Because you're very passionate about, obviously, as I mentioned a while ago, what happened during the Marcos regime, happened during martial law. And while I know you're saying that you do not believe in surveys, but let's be very frank about something that could possibly happen. If, for example, a pro-administration, or let's just say BBM, could possibly get majority of the votes because the other side, which would be, I don't know, could be Senator Ping, could be Senator Pacquiao, could be Vice President Leni Robredo, could be Isko Moreno, pwede ho kasing lumalabas na hatiin nyo yung mga boto eh. Dadating ho ba yung pagkakataon, you think na kailangan talagang mag-unite, yun pong, let's say, hindi po BBM, hindi po Bongbong Marcos, kailangan ho ba talaga silang mag-unite to beat a Bongbong Marcos?
What's your question, Pinky? I didn't get the question.
Sorry, sir. Let me repeat that. Are you open for this to happen, that the other forces will have to eventually unite to possibly beat a Bongbong Marcos for president?
Well, alam nyo, anything can happen. Malayo pa ang eleksyon eh. Malayo pa. Right now, we're just gearing up. We're just preparing. And people are also just initially are starting to talk about the next election, about the candidates. So we cannot estimate what could transpire eventually sa bayan natin. Pero ang sinasabi ko, hindi maaalis yung fundamental sentiments of people. Like me, I cannot change my attitude towards martial law. I suffered through martial law. So kailangan, huwag natin kalimutan yan. Huwag natin kalimutan, maraming pang-aapi, maraming mga violations of rights. Ang inyong lingkod, 2 beses akong dinala sa Camp Trami para ikulong. Bakit? Anong ginawa ko? Wala akong ginawa, Pinky. Iyon ang panahon ng martial law. Maraming nawala. Mabuti ako, nakauwi pa. Pero may warning na ako. Sabi sa akin, 3 beses ka namin uhulihin, hindi ka nalalabas. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kaya ako naniniwala, yung nawawalang mahigit 10,000 na mga kabataan na hindi malaman ng mga pamilya nila kung saan napunta, pinatay yun ng martial law. Wala na yung mga yun. So I cannot forget that. And I will never forget that. I want my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to remember that. That once upon a time, we had martial rule, a one-man rule, and a dictatorship, and a lot of violations of our rights, which destroyed the Philippine economy. We were number 1 before martial law. In Asia, we became last after martial law. So don't tell me we gained from martial law. We lost everything in martial law. Ibalik nila. Tama yung panawagan ng marami. Ibalik ninyo yung mga ninakaw. Then maybe we can forgive and forget.
Yeah, I did have Senator Bongbong Marcos, and I asked him about that. In fact, kayo po yung inattribute ko because the day before that, you had an interview and you were very clear saying, kailangan muna mag-apologize, kailangan magkaroon ng recognitions. And I don't even know what could happen in the event that there is a recognition or they would acknowledge or even apologize. But I remember an interview of yours. And I asked that to former Senator Bongbong Marcos, to which he replied, tell me, sabi niya po tell me kung anong kasalanan ko, and kung nagkamali ako, I will apologize for that. Idagdag ko na rin po to, Kong Lito. Also, Senator Amy Marcos, in an interview, said that martial law na naman, something to that effect, at 1 million years ago pa yan. I'd like you to react to that, sir.
Number 1, I am not asking Bongbong Marcos to apologize for his sins. I'm just asking him to recognize that martial law and his father, Ferdinand Edralin Marcos, did not do well, did not really benefit the Filipinos. And maraming atrocities nangyari. He can easily say, I did not condone, I did not participate in those tortures. And if I become president, I will never commit the same. Yun ang gusto nating marinig . Pero pag sinabi niyo, walang masamang nangyari at ako hindi ako kasali dyan. Hindi ka kasali dyan. You were already a mature young man when you all fled the Philippines. On February 26, 1986, when you rode that American helicopter to escape from the raging, oncoming, onrushing crowd of Filipinos wanting justice from you, you flew out of the Philippines. You escaped. Anong sabi mo hindi mo alam? Naka-fatigue uniform ka pa nun . You were ready to do battle. Have you forgotten that? Palagay ko, medyo meron silang selective memory. Naalala nila yung good times of martial law. They were having a good time. The Filipinos were suffering.
Just very quickly, sir, because I want to move on to another topic. Yung pong sinabi po ni Senator Amy Marcos na 1 million years ago na yan, we need to look into the future.
Alam nyo, yan ang gusto nila mangyari, makalimutan natin . Ako naman wala akong galit sa kanila. I forgiven Ferdinand Marcos and the military who committed atrocities. In fact, I'm close to some of them, like Amy. She came to me several times to seek help from me as a congressman when she was in trouble with Congress, and I helped her. Sapagkat wala na sa akin yan, wala akong galit, pero hindi ko makakalimutan kailanman na inalisan nyo ng kinabukasan ng Pilipino dahil sa inyong ginawang one-man rule. Well, all the rest of Asia progressed in the 70s. Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, lahat. Taipei. Ang Pilipinas, dumaib. Ay, anong masama ron sa hindi namin nakakalimutan yung dahilan na paghihirap natin? Don't say that it was 1 million years ago. No. That's very recent history and you're doing everything using your money to distort history. Ang tawag dyan, historical revisionism. Huwag niyong subukan gawin yan. Hindi niyo maalis sa damdamin sa alaala ng mga tao na masama ang nangyari ng batas militar. Tatong niyo sasabihin, mas maganda ang buhay noon. Maganda ang buhay noon. Enjoy kayo noon, alam ko. Pero ang masang Pilipino, pinaghihirap ng inyong pamamahala ng isang tao. Ferdinand Edralin Marcos. And it's not a million years. It's only, 35 years ago. Please,
We need to take
that's part of your
Congressman.
historical revision effort to tell people, forget about it. We cannot forget. We have forgiven, but we will not forget. And I don't want them back in Malacanang without even admitting, hindi ko nagagawin yung mga nangyari ng Marcelo. Sabihin niyo yan, then you are qualified once again. Japan,
All right.
in spite of all, let me finish this na. Japan, in spite of all their atrocities committed on the people, especially in the Philippines, nag-apologize muna. Sabi nila, we're sorry for what we've done in the Second World War. And for that, they were forgiven, and Japan now is back in the good graces of the world. Iyon lang naman ang hinihingi ng mga naragabyadong bansang Pilipinas. Mag-apologize kayo, tapos na. Hindi naman sinasabing kayo gumawa niyan. Patay na siguro lahat ng gumawa ng mga kalokohan at abuso sa taong bayan. Pero hindi natin dapat kalimutan. Once upon a time, we all suffered through the same fate of Marcelo.
We need to take a very short break again. The source will be right back. And you're back on the source. At this point, we've run out of time. So we've asked Congressman Lito Atienza if he can still give us 5 minutes of his time to join us on our Facebook Live. And he said yes. So Congressman, I'll just say thank you first to you here while we're still live on television. We will have him again.
I told you, Pinky, for as long as you are the host, we can talk the whole day.
Okay. Maraming salamat. Congressman Lito Atienza, thank you. We're still going to talk about the substitution, his stand on that, and Buhay Party List also very quickly. We will say thank you again to Congressman Lito Atienza, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.